Have you ever wondered if your faith is more than just words and rituals? In a world buzzing with religious trends, what if the key to truly knowing God isn't in the books or the buildings, but hidden deep within you? Join me on this heavenly journey to discover the signs of genuine connection with the divine. It might just transform your soul forever. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to MetaMystics, where we explore deeper things in spirituality with grace and truth. I'm Alura, and today we're going to go into a profound question. How do you recognize if someone or even yourself really knows God? It's not about labels or the outward show. It's a heavenly invitation to look inward. Whether you're Hindu, Catholic, Buddhist, or any faith in between, the journey starts with knowing where to look for God in your life. And here's the divine secret. The creator, the source, isn't just out there in the cosmos or ancient texts. God resides within you, waiting to be discovered in the quiet corners of your everyday existence. Anyone can claim to follow religious principles and be a good person on the surface. You might attend services, recite prayers, perform acts of kindness, and that's all wonderful. It truly is. But to really know God, it goes beyond the external. God sees everyone within and without. He knows our hearts, our hidden thoughts, and the unspoken desires that shape who we are. Even if you don't act out negative impulses, those thoughts are a part of who you are. They really are. And this is deep heavenly truth. Real change, it has to happen inside. You have to work on yourself, peeling away the products of the world, the distractions and materialism, the fleeting trends, and you have to realize that that's the world, not you. It's like shedding old skin to reveal the divine light beneath. Apply these spiritual principles until they become woven into the fabric of your being. This isn't about being influenced by others or following the crowd. It's about internal transformation. Watch how it changes the way that you act with people with more compassion and authenticity, how you cope with the world or challenges in it. Feel it shift your thoughts and your emotions, turning judgment into understanding and fear into faith. When you live this way, you're not just performing, you're embodying God. You're building a relationship with Him. But to do so, it starts with conversation. And you have to talk to Him all the time, and you have to do so like a trusted friend. From a young age, I've had the gift of speaking with the Lord, but not everyone starts there. Some have the natural gift, while others have to cultivate it through persistent, heartfelt effort. Yet beware, because the relationship that you're building with Him should never be built on superficial motives. I have seen so many seekers throughout my career approach me, eager to learn psychic abilities, channel spirits, or to get into awakening and enlightenment information, but not for real soul growth. It was to build a career, to gain worldly success, or manifest their desires. But that's like chasing shadows. It's not the right intention. What are the right intentions? Well, you have to draw closer to God for your inner fulfillment, spiritual cleansing, true happiness, and to have eyes open to liberating truth. Everything else, the success, insights, they may follow as blessings, but they should never be the goal. This reminds me of King Solomon in the Bible, a timeless parable of heavenly wisdom. As a young king-to-be, God asked what he desired most. Instead of riches, power, or fame, Solomon humbly requested wisdom to lead very well. But God was so impressed with this, and He granted not just the wisdom, but the wealth and respect and mastery beyond measure. It came, and Solomon became the wealthiest king and fair judge and even commanded deeper spiritual realms. And that's all because he did so with good intention, and the wisdom led him to those things. I go into this a lot in my courses, and Solomon even mastered the jinn, or the spiritual realm, and so this was very metaphorical for symbolizing inner mastery over chaos. And I would love for everyone to check that out and explore it more deeply so that you can too. The surface lesson shines. Seek God not for outward gains or appearances, but genuinely for wisdom to draw nearer to Him. Liberate yourself from this world's grip where illusions pull you into endless striving. That pure pursuit opens doors to true awakening. Keep your energy clean and clear. Stay committed to your studies, but above all, do the inner work. It's heavenly important. And don't forget to look for God in your everyday life. I was just sharing this with someone recently. God wants you to know that He's always there. He's coming through in every moment. But there's so many people who lose faith when prayers aren't answered instantly, or situations unfold with drama and challenges. But what if those negative turns are divine tests, lessons tailored just for you to refine your spirit, build wisdom, and prepare you for greater things? God knows you best, so trusting in His timing and plan, even in the storms, is going to help you get closer to Him and what He knows. This perspective is something I teach deeply in my Projections and Reflections article at www.theilluminationofmetatron.com, and I teach it even more so in my awareness course at my school, MetaMystics, at Teachable. Life moves fast, burdens pile up, it's easy to forget to look. But merging your duality is the key. Don't see the world as just good versus bad. Learn how to recognize how God works through every situation, using even the shadows to bring light. Once you can identify His hand in synchronicities, words from others, your inner nudges, you'll witness His epic power, not just helping you survive, but sculpting you into an awakened spirit. Yet in today's world, many jump on spiritual and religious trends, taking scriptures literally for face value, and they follow the Bible or other texts without depth, refusing other pathways, especially in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, each who claims soul truth when all paths lead to the same divine source. Sadly, religions have been overwritten by human agendas, scriptures altered or stripped, making it hard to connect the heavenly parallels or ascend to deeper understanding. And that's why I tell my students that seeking beyond and going to the truth beyond the surface is vital. Question, explore, go higher. This is all important. In my school, I share unique insights that challenge the norms, and I have noticed others kind of talking about it even without giving credit to my courses launched, but they don't give even more depth because they think they know everything and they stop there. When developing a true relationship with God, shed worldly ways first. Understand the illusion of this reality. It's not about others getting baptized or returning to traditions for show. It's not about who is now conservative and Christian or doing this or that. It's about working and doing the change from the heart and craving that personal bond. Prayer is your heavenly bridge to turn to God, and do so constantly. Don't limit to one religion. Seek the divine truth in all and create deeper understanding and acceptance. We are all one. We're connected in spirit. And for too long, governments and religions have divided us as weapons of control, and it's time for that to end. Embracing unity in the light. I truly feel that with all my heart, and I hope for it every day. Start looking for God in your life, events unfolding, words spoken, your own feelings and thoughts. Talk to Him openly, live by spiritual principles truly from within. Do the inner work, don't ignore it. You can't claim to know God and believe in God if you're weighed down by worldly cares. And remember, this is all an illusion anyway. True knowledge of God frees you, and it fills you with heavenly peace. Additionally, in that, God is the greater change in you. So viewers, do you feel that you really know God, or is it time to deepen that heavenly connection? If this video resonated, please share it with another soul who needs this light, and go deeper in your spiritual explorations. I would love to be of help for you. And open your heart. I thank you for being here. Please hit the notification bell and subscribe, and drop it in the comments. What's one way that you've seen God in your daily life? Share your journey or your interchange. Let's build a community here. We all need each other. Today, even more so than ever before. I think about things that are said in the Bible and how things are trending today, and all of those prophecies are being fulfilled. Even in the Bible, it says that in the last days, people would be lovers of the world, lovers of themselves, but they would turn to God but prove false to his power. Not to mention that it was also said in the Bible that in the last days that people would cry out, "Lord, Lord," when he finally would return, and he would say that he never knew them, because they didn't really know him. They only put on that presentation that they did, or they were seeking to try to get to know him for the wrong reasons. And so please, if you want to learn, follow me in this journey as I'm helping you to expand your mind, keeping your energy clear for good interactions with other people every day, but keep the right motives in your heart. Know that you're doing this for your well-being and to draw closer in your own personal relationship with the divine, who is so good and so loving, so perfect and so true. And even though the journey in spiritual awakening isn't easy, the real journey, when you're really doing it, you're going to awaken to many things. It's going to change your perspective about the way that you look at life. It's going to make you question the people around you. Sometimes you'll overthink things and overanalyze them, even yourself. But that's the part of learning and seeing the truth, is looking deeper into those areas and seeing them for what they really are and moving beyond them. But it does take the inner work, and it's not just about saying this or that or doing this or that. It's about what's in your heart and what you want the most and why. And it's putting the work in to shed the layers of this world. And as I say in this channel's motto, because we're not of this kingdom. We're not, and you can't be when you're looking for the truth, because this world has lied to people over and over and over again, and they're doing it a second time now, pushing these conservative Christian values on people, bringing them back into these thoughts of Jesus. Even Bible sales have gone up, and I get that people have uncertainty and they have pain because of how many years of struggle everyone's been going through because of what's happened in the world, but it's also playing a big part in coming from the agenda that's being pushed out there for these Christian conservative values. And you're going to notice celebrities doing it everywhere, and people are so quick to follow that, but it's not genuine, and it plays into those scriptures that people are doing it for face value. And when God really does come, because this is a false second coming, obviously the first time Jesus' teachings were spread throughout the earth, wonderful teacher, but also people were killed, to enforce those teachings on them, instead of connecting all of the dots in the different cultures that Christianity came across when they were spreading that message abroad. They didn't want to see that they had similarities in one another in different places and in different stories and different scriptures and different languages. Instead, they just enforced that. And that's what I see them doing today. They are enforcing Christianity on people again. It's to disguise all of these horrible atrocities, all these horrible sinful things that these politicians are doing out there, that things that are happening in the world, and to put this idea of God and Jesus out there again, so that people feel that they can cling on to that and still kind of live their lives in all of the trends that they're doing, and following all of the things in the music on TikTok and so much more, and feel like they can live with it. But the idea is to know that you're doing it to really know God, and I hope that you do. So I didn't want to leave you without the signs of knowing whether you have found God or not. And so here are some of the things to look for that will help you know whether you have found the divine in your life. Number one, you'll feel that there is this overwhelming peace in your heart, knowing that someone is always out there looking out for you. Your faith will be strong, although you can't expect it to always be perfect, because, it's life. Sometimes you're going to feel overwhelmed by the challenges and the hardships that are taking place, but you return back to the thought that God is with you and you feel more peace within. Number 2, you'll want to live your life all the time wondering about your decisions and how you're speaking to others, where you won't want to disappoint God in anything that you think, say, and do. And so throughout your days, you'll be calm and very careful in your approach to life, wanting to represent Him because you love Him so much and you don't want Him to feel hurt or disappointed by anything occurring. Now, you're not going to be perfect with that either, because we live in an imperfect world. So if you make mistakes, don't beat yourself up too much about it. But generally, those who have found the Lord, they'll feel that they just want to do everything right all the time. So there's a huge impulse for that. Thirdly, you'll think about God in every moment. Praying, talking to Him as you're going about your day, thinking about Him in different situations. And this is spoken a lot about in many different scriptures, in many different religions. Going back to the Bible, it says in Proverbs, that you will take wisdom with you when you walk down the road. So you'll live your life and being very observant, and you won't have much judgment in your heart because you'll be so understanding and compassionate in knowing that everyone's been through something, everyone has been hurt, everyone has faced challenges, and that everybody has a story. And knowing that you've drawn closer to God, you'll try to think the way that God does, and thinking that everybody deserves compassion and acceptance. Another sign is that you become less judgmental because of that. You don't really think negatively about other people anymore, because in your heart, you feel this love of God, not only toward yourself, but toward others, that you want it to shine. And so there's really not a lot of room for negativity, because you're too busy being filled with compassion and understanding toward other people. That makes you kinder, it makes you gentler, it makes you softer, and people will see that about you. Also, it takes away a lot of fears. When you find God in your life, you're not really afraid of as much as you may have been before, because you know that your path is wherever God leads you, and it's for a reason. And in having acceptance in that, you're stronger. And so there's not a lot of fear, to have on your journey. Although there may be things that you'll be afraid of. You are human, you are living in this world, there are things that happen, but overall, your conscience will be in a place where you know that it's all happening for a purpose. You'll be able to look and say, why is this situation happening? And it's not just, big situations either. You have to learn to look to even the smaller things, like small interactions or situations that occur where you're asking yourself, what does this really mean? You're looking at those reflections all the time and knowing that it's teaching you something and it has deeper meaning. Everything in this life does. And that brings me to another sign, which is that you have so much more gratitude and appreciation when you find God, because you realize how much He's really done for you, because you see it through asking yourself those questions. When you look back on your life and you're looking at it now and you're saying, what was the purpose of that situation or that person, or how I reacted or how they reacted, or things that were said or things I've experienced, you start to realize it all had purpose. And when you see those purposes, you start to see how much God really was there, to back you up, to reinforce you in those settings, and to also help refine you through the lessons that He brought. Another thing is that you just want to learn. Learning never stops when you found God. You want to know every answer to every question, and you know that there's more. It says also in the wise scriptures that a wise man knows that he knows nothing at all. And that's a wonderful quote, because it's truth. When you're wise, you know that there's still so many corners left to look around. And the Lord, in your relationship with him, will bring you to that place of where you just want to always keep seeking, wanting to know more, wanting to ask more questions. And once you feel that you've learned a lot, your life will change. You've found the Lord, you found this great wisdom, and it's going to change the way that you live your life. It's the way that you are generally with other people. Negative thoughts don't really creep in as much anymore. You don't feel them toward yourself or toward other people. But then again, like I said, you're not perfect, and so it will happen on occasion. But when you have God in your life, there is this light that is always with you, that brings you comfort in times of sorrow, in moments where you don't feel secure, where you have all the answers. You know that he'll provide them. And you'll also feel like there's no rush. That's another thing, is that when you found God, a lot of people live their life with impatience, and in anything, even just driving to work or getting something done, or in their spiritual journey or in relationships. Once you've found God, you'll find that there's really no need to rush anything, that everything's just going to take its natural flow and course anyway, and that the only thing that you can do is just walk your path righteously and to do the things that you are supposed to do and to have great faith. And then you start to kind of slow down and realize that God's got the driving wheel and you're in a good place. So those are a few signs that you've found God. And I hope that this video has educated you and touched your heart deeply. See you next week.